Good morning, students. I hope all of you are well, safe and healthy. Let's begin today's lesson. If you remember, in our last class we have covered the chapter 12. Yes, we have covered completely the chapter 12. So today we are going to begin new lesson, new chapter, and that is chapter 13, European Middle Ages. So it's you will find this chapter on page 353 in your world history books. So in this chapter you will understand how the fall of Western Roman Empire led to changes in Europe and how it marked the beginning of medieval era, that is from 500 to 1500. And we will also understand how Christianity spread throughout Western Europe during this time due to the role of early church and monasteries and the emerging cooperation between the papacy and European monarchs. So what is papacy here? What papacy means, like authority of the Pope. So it would be between Pope and the rulers. So you will see the emerging cooperation between the Pope and the rulers of that time. And we will also identify the main effects of the fall of Roman Empire on Western Europe. So what was the effect of fall of Roman Empire on the western side of Europe? Okay, and before we begin the lesson, a few important terms let's revise, and they will help you to understand the lesson more. So you will see the term Middle Ages. Middle Ages mean medieval period spanning the years from 500 to 1500. This era or this time span between these years is called Middle Ages. Then we have Franks. Who are Franks? They are Germanic people who settled in Gaul, that is a province, but modern days it is France, and they were a great empire in the Middle Ages. Then they were a great empire in Middle Ages. Then you will read a term monastery. What is monastery? It's a monastery is here. Okay, monastery, a religious community of men or monks who devoted their lives to prayer and religious service. So monastery is a religious community. Then you will read a term secular. Secular means concerned with worldly rather than spiritual matters. And then at the end we have a dynasty, that is Carolingian dynasty, a dynasty of Frankish rulers. So you will learn about the Frankish rulers. It was dynasty of Frankish rulers lasting from 751 to 987. Okay, so now we will begin the first topic. Here on your book, it's on 353 page. So invasion of Western Europe. So many Germanic kingdoms that succeeded the Roman Empire were reunited under Charlemagne. Here, Charlemagne Empire. Charlemagne was the name of an emperor, and the Germanic kingdoms, they succeeded the Roman Empire, were reunited. They were reunited under him, under the emperor Charlemagne. It spread Christian civilization through northern Europe, and it spreads and where it had a permanent impact. This was the main idea. And then we will read about the invasions of Western Europe. Okay, so what happened? The Germanic invaders, they overrun Western Roman Empire in 400s, like 400s. So Germanic invaders, they occupied Western Rome in 400s. And then second thing, that because of the invasions and warfare, constant invasion and warfare in Western Europe, it disrupts trade and government, and people abandon their cities. So this was the effect. And then it also marked these invasions and these warfares. It marked the beginning of the Middle Ages period from 500 to 1500. Then as the cities in this era, the cities, they were abandoned, so level of learning declines. And then knowledge of Greek language, because of the invasion of Western Europe, knowledge of Greek language and culture is almost completely lost. Next, the next topic is Germanic kingdom emergence, and you will find it on page 354 in your book. So it's Germanic kingdom emerged, like when the Germanic kingdoms appeared, or it come out. What happened then? It's a year of upheaval between 400 and 600. So what happened when the Germanic kingdoms appeared? They replaced Roman provinces, the first thing, And the Continental War, during their time, it changed the borders between the kingdoms. And the third thing, the most important, the church provides order and security instead of government. This was the most important thing. The church provides order and security instead of the government. Okay, so what happened in this during Germanic kingdom emergence? Germans held together by family ties and loyalty, not by the government. Small communities are governed by unwritten rules and traditions. So there was not proper ruling. They were ruled by unwritten rules and traditions. And Germanic warriors, they pledged loyalty, like they committed their loyalty to their chief live in Lord's Hall. So they used to commit their loyalty live in Lord's Hall. In their honors hall, they committed their loyalty live. Then we will read about the Germanic kingdom. Clovis rules the Franks. Now, what is Clovis rules the Frank? Here first you have to understand that in the Roman province of Gaul, it was the name of a province. A Roman province name was Gaul, which is mainly nowadays is France and Switzerland. So a Germanic people called Franks. The Germanic people who used to live in that province were called Franks. So they hold the power in that area, and that area is called Clovis. And the name of the leader was Clovis. So Clovis is the name of the leader of Franks. So Clovis rules the Franks. He was the leader. So Germanic people called Franks hold power in Roman province of Gaul, first thing. Then Clovis, he is the leader of the Franks. He converts to Christianity in 496. So he himself converts to Christianity, and Clovis, he led warriors against other Germanic armies. So during his time, what he did, he led warriors against the Germanic armies. And then what else he did? He united Franks into one kingdom with church's help by 511. So what he did, Clovis, who was the leader of Franks people, what he did, he united all the Franks into one kingdom with church's help by 511. Okay, so next is how the church spread. Frankish, now the Frankish government, like Frankish rulers, they convert Germanic people to Christianity. First thing they did, they convert the Germanic people to Christianity. And then the missionaries, they travel to convert Germanic and Celtic groups. What are Celtic groups? Celtic groups were Indo-European groups. So what they did, the missionaries, they traveled to convert Germanic and Celtic groups. They started moving to other places to convert other people. Okay, now next thing was that during their time, church builds monasteries. What are the monasteries? Where monks live to study and serve God. So they built churches. And then Italian monks, there was a famous Italian monk, his name was Benedict. Okay, so he was an Italian monk. He writes rules that govern monastic life. So he played an important role, and he wrote rules that govern monastic life. His sister name was Scholastica, and what she did, she adapts rules for nuns living in convents. And then monks later on, they established schools and preserved learning through libraries. So these were the achievement or works they did in their time. Then German, last thing, that in what happened in 590, there was a person, Gregory. Here, Gregory, he also called Gregory the Great, he became the Pope. Okay, so in 590, Gregory, he became the Pope, and under Gregory, church becomes secular and a political power. So, okay, now the church, they became secular and they turned into a political power. So Pope's places become center of Roman government. In his time, they become Roman, the churches they become Roman government, center of Roman government, and these uses of these churches and they also use the churches church money. So they use church money to raise armies, and they care for poor and negotiate treaties. So what was the task? They used the money to raise armies, they care for poor, and they negotiate treaties. What else they did? They established a Christendom, that is churchly kingdom, and fanning out from Rome. So this was the like Gregory, when he became Pope, these advancement took place during his time. He established a churchy kingdom. He uses churchy money to raise armies, and Pope's places become the center of Roman government. Now, an empire evolves. So next topic is about an empire. You will find each and everything in your book in great detail. I'm just giving you the main points. The rest you have to read through your books. Okay, so here we are just picking up the main points, and the rest you will study yourself. Now we will read about the Europe's kingdom. Like an empire evolves. Now after Germans adopt Christianity, another empire evolves. The Franks control largest and strongest of Europe's many kingdoms. So now let's see the movement of Franks. So they controlled largest and strongest kingdoms of Europe. So in 511 Frankish rule extends over what is now France. So now the Frankish kingdom was ruling over over what is now is France. And what happened after it? Let me see, it's a Pythian, yes. So from now the Charlemagne became the emperor. When Charlemagne became the emperor, from Pepin to Charlemagne, Pepin dies in 768. First you should know who was Pepin. Pepin was the king of Frankish kingdom. Pepin was the king of the Frankish kingdom. So after his death, that was in 768, he left the kingdom with his two sons, and one son died in 771. So he left the kingdom with two sons, and one son died in 771, but the second son, his name was Charlemagne. So the Pepin second son name was Charlemagne, and what he did, he rules the kingdom. Now he ruled the kingdom. Charlemagne ruled the kingdom. That Frankish kingdom was ruled by Charlemagne. So what he did, Charlemagne armies reunite Western Europe and spread Christianity. In 800, Charlemagne travels to Rome to protect Pope Leo from mobs. The second thing he did. And then Pope crowns Charlemagne emperor. So when he protected the Pope, what the Pope crowned Charlemagne emperor. He crowned the Charlemagne emperor, and he gave him a title, Roman emperor. So Charlemagne became the Roman Empire with the help of the Pope. And Germanic power, church, heritage of Roman Empire now joined together. So this thing, the more important thing that happened during his time, that three powers like Germanic power, church, and heritage of Roman Empire, they all joined together. What else? Charlemagne limits nobles' power by governing through royal agents. So the thing he did was he limited the nobles' power, and then he encouraged learning and orders monasteries to open schools. So he encouraged learning in his time, and he also ordered monasteries to open schools. Okay, and the last thing that Charlemagne, when he died in 1814. So after his death, his son Louis the Pious, he rules poorly. He was not a powerful ruler, so he rules poorly. And Louis' three grandsons fight the control of empire. And in 1843, the three grandsons, they divided empire into three kingdoms, and they also signed the Treaty of Verdun. You will find it in your book, the Treaty of Verdun. That treaty was about dividing the empire into three kingdoms. So what happened at the end? As a result, kings lost power and central authority broke down, and the lack of strong rulers led to a new system of governing and landholding, and that system was called feudalism. So in next lesson we will learn about the feudalism in Europe. Now the last thing is your activity for today is to read this lesson again. You have to memorize the terms, the name of empires, the name of the kings, the name of the popes, what achievement and advancement happened during their time, and few questions like what was three roots of medieval culture in Western Europe, What are 3 ways that civilization in Western Europe declined after the Roman Empire fell? And what was the most important achievement of Pope Gregory? Okay, so what you have to do, read the lesson in great detail and try to find the answers and prepare the assessment for this lesson. I will make your quiz soon in upcoming classes. And take care. See you again.